Hi everyone, welcome to the Fast Healthy Weight Loss blog. For those of you that don't know me, I'm Hayden Keys. I'm a naturopath and clinical nutritionist, and I specialise in weight loss. For those of you who do know me, welcome back again. And today I'd like to talk about what I call the insulin trap. Now, the insulin trap is when you end up with chronically high levels of insulin in your bloodstream, and this basically traps you in storage mode and prevents you from losing weight. Now, this occurs when you follow the conventional dietary guidelines. So if you're following those, you might be eating breakfast cereal or toast at breakfast. At lunch you might be having a sandwich, and at dinner you might be having some meat and some veggies, but with some pasta or some rice or some potato. And now I know many of you would also be having snacks that consist of rice crackers or muesli bars or maybe even muffins and chocolate. Now, the problem with this diet is that these foods are broken down into large amounts of sugars, even if they are low GI. So these sugars come through your digestive tract and into your bloodstream. And your blood sugars shoot up, and so your body has to release a big whack of insulin to bring them down. Now, insulin's role is to move sugar from the blood and into the cell. Now, once the sugar comes into the cell, your cell then uses what it needs for energy, and any excess is just converted to fat and sent off to storage. Now, this is completely natural and served us well in the past, but now, because, as I was saying, we're eating starchy foods throughout the day, this has become a huge problem. Now, the reason for that is that insulin is basically a storage hormone. Because it moves sugar from the blood into the cell, and then your cell converts any excess sugar into fat and sends it to storage, insulin basically encourages you to make fat. So when you eat foods throughout the day that are high in sugars or high in starch and are converted to sugars, you're basically causing your body to release insulin throughout the day, which basically means that you end up putting your body in storage mode or fat making mode all day long. And this becomes a particular problem if you're trying to lose weight, because you may try to cut back calories or you may try to exercise more. But if you've been eating a diet that has got a high proportion of carbohydrate in it, you will be stuck in what I call the insulin trap. And so because you've got insulin in your bloodstream all day long, you're stuck in storage mode. And despite doing the extra exercise or cutting back the calories, you can't access your fat reserves because you're still trying to build them. You're stuck in this storage mode, and you can only do one thing at a time. So if you're trying to store, you can't break down. So you can't burn body fat if you're trying to store body fat. And this is the problem I see again and again, where people are exercising, getting really fit, but their weight is just not going anywhere. So this is a huge problem because the way you've been encouraged to eat. Now, it's also a problem from another angle in that insulin drives hunger. And this is because when you release insulin into your bloodstream and it starts to move the sugars into the cell, what happens is that if you've released too much insulin, or you've got insulin there all the time, it eventually moves so much sugar out of your bloodstream that your blood sugars drop below the level that you want them to be, and you move into hypoglycemia or low blood sugar levels. And when this happens, you may get headaches, you may get jittery, you may get tired. There's a whole range of symptoms you might get, but the overriding symptom you get is that you get hungry because your cell is unable to get enough energy now because your blood sugars are too low. And because you're stuck in storage mode, you can't access your stored energy to bring those blood sugars back up, which is what you should do naturally, but you can't because insulin's preventing that. So the only way your cell can get more energy is for you to eat, and this drives you to eat more of the food that just started this problem. So you start looking for carbohydrates, things like toast, chocolate, muffins. I'm sure you can relate to these feelings when you're hungry. And so this just starts that cycle over again. And basically you get stuck on this roller coaster where you eat those foods, your blood sugars shoot up, you release insulin, the blood sugars come down, 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 and then drop too low. So you get hungry again, and so you eat again, and your blood sugars shoot up. And then you release insulin again, and they come crashing back down, and so on it goes. And so it's difficult to get off this roller coaster while you're eating that diet. You need to really cut those foods out. So, and this is the whole philosophy of a low carbohydrate program, where you reduce the amount of carbohydrate in the diet, and in doing so, you reduce the amount of insulin in your bloodstream. And what effectively happens is that you open up your ability to access your body reserves, so those stored energy reserves you have. And when this happens, suddenly you can start to lose weight because you're no longer stuck in storage mode. You're now able to go into breakdown mode. And when this occurs, you lose weight quite quickly. And I see more or less on average 1 kilo to 1.5 kilos of body fat loss each week when someone moves on to a low carbohydrate program. But probably what's the best thing about it is that you don't feel hungry while this is happening, because you now have access to your energy reserves, so your blood sugars don't drop off. So you don't get these periods of tiredness and the 4 o'clock slump in the afternoon that most of us relate to. Your blood sugars stay much more stable, you have constant access to energy, so your energy levels stay up, and you start to lose weight quite quickly, so you feel better about yourself. And so this controls your hunger, so you're able to lose weight quickly and easily and without getting hungry. And it's a very natural way to do it. This is how our bodies are designed, because we're basically still the hunter-gatherer of past times, and in those times there was very little high carbohydrate food in our diet. We ate mainly meat, vegetables, fruit, nuts and seeds. We didn't eat grain foods. So our bodies are designed for this low carbohydrate style of eating. And when you do this, your body responds accordingly and your energy levels pick up, and as I said, you lose weight very quickly. And there's a little bit of fear around low carbohydrate eating, but as I just mentioned, it is really how our bodies are designed. And when you do go on a low carbohydrate program, you'll find that you feel a whole lot better for it, because you'll be able to lose weight without that constant gnawing hunger in the background. So I'd just like to leave it there for today. Tomorrow I'll talk a little bit more on this subject about insulin, and we'll go tomorrow and a few other days after that, just extending this out and how you can use that in your day-to-day life to control your hunger and get your weight under control, and to maintain your weight if you've lost weight. So thank you for coming to the Fast Healthy Weight Loss blog, and I'm Hayden Keys, and thank you, and I'll talk to you next time.